Hey, what's going on, Golferos? Welcome back. This is episode 2 of Salud Golferos, the podcast. I'm super excited. Today, we are at Emerald Isle, so big shout out to the course for having us. It's the definite goal of ours that when we do these, try to get out on as many golf courses as possible because we're golfers. Of course, we want to be on the course. I have 2 very special guests with me today. First here on my right, Omar Torres from Callaway Golf, an avid golfer based out of North County, San Diego, but by way of Central Coast. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a bit. Then I also have Abraham Gomez, aka Abe, another avid golfer here in North County, San Diego, but also the host of the Preacher's Corner podcast.
Yep.
So, hey guys, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Wow, we got a lot to talk about today. I think this is a great group that we have together because we're going to talk a little bit about your take coming from the industry. We're going to talk about your take, Abe, being in podcasting, and how all that culminates together as far as being Latinos who golf, and, essentially finding our community. So I think this is going to be a great episode. So this is going to be a fun one, guys. I'm going to pick on Omar first because, I do the intros. I want to make sure to give you guys as much shine and love on who you are and where you come from. I put in the intro originally from the Santa Barbara area, and Omar was like, bro, can you do me a favor? Let's change that to Central Coast. Why is that so near and dear? Like, why was that so specific?
Well, technically, I'm from Lompoc, California.
Okay.
I'm from it's called the San Ynez Valley, technically. It evolves from San Ynez, Solvang, Bealton, Lompoc. It's like 4 little cities within a 20-mile span. I say Central Coast because I've golfed anywhere from all the way from Slow, San Luis Obispo, that is, down all the way to Santa Barbara. That's the Central Coast to me.
Yeah.
So Santa Barbara, yeah, I say Santa Barbara because a lot of people know where Santa Barbara is on the map.
Mm-hmm.
If I say Lompoc, people will kind of give me a side eye saying, kind of, where is that?
Did you make that up? Is that really a city?
No, it's really there. It's really there. But yeah, I mean, Central Coast, that's where I like to say that I'm from. And yeah, I mean, that's where I originate from. And I mean, that's home.
That's cool, man. No, I actually really like that you called that out because for those of you that don't live in California, you probably go, it's NorCal versus SoCal. Mm-hmm. And everyone thinks that SoCal is just LA and maybe San Diego. So no, that was cool that you called that out, Central Coast. I was like, okay, that's a new one. Hey, we've only golfed a couple times, hung out a couple times, and right off the bat, it's with Omar as well. I feel that we all kind of clicked, and we started talking a little bit about your history. But you grew up in this area as well, right?
I did.
Like you're originally from North County, San Diego?
I am. I'm here, North County, San Diego. Born and raised here. Grew up in Carlsbad, California, if you're familiar with that area, and moved over to Vista when I was 13. So I've been there ever since. Vista. Yes, sir. And so I recently got into golf. When I say recently, I would say 3 years ago. Got the bug, like we all did, I think, at some point. So,
yeah.
So I grew up here in the North County. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's great because, we're talking about where we're coming from, whether we grew up here or we're coming from Central Coast. But for this specific group, we all ended up or we stayed in what I think is the mecca of golf. We're in San Diego, which segues perfectly to you, Omar, because you're coming from the Central Coast and you moved down here. And you end up getting a job with Callaway. So I definitely want to dive into that. But before that, let's backtrack a little bit. What got you into golf and what got you down from the Central Coast to down here?
So the reason I moved down here, my brother is a Marine stationed in Camp Pendleton, or was. Me and my wife would come visit him almost every month, at least twice a month, maybe sometimes 3 times a month. We kind of fell in love with the area.
You sound like Jim from The Office and Dwight. It's like it could happen next week, maybe in 3 months,
Honestly,
6 months, 7 months. Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. No, but yeah, I mean, we just fell in love with the area. We were living with my parents at the time, and I mean, we kind of just wanted to, take that next step in life together, and we kind of just, we went with it. We just I put it out there. I'm like, let's move out there. Let's go give it a try, and been here for about 3 years, and we love it. I don't see myself ever going back.
Dude, North County, San Diego, that's where it's at, man. No, that's awesome. That's really cool. So that's what inspired the move and all that. How did the golf tie into that?
Been golfing for about 6 years now. And just how Abe said, caught the bug, and I got it strong, man. Like, I went from getting a freaking loaner set that my cousin let me borrow from a thrift store. Got that bug, and I was like, okay, I need to get better at this sport, My wife actually bought me my first set of clubs on my birthday, yeah. And
that's a great wife.
I know. And just like I said, I caught the bug. I just wanted to get better at the sport. Me coming from a competitive kind of lifestyle, played soccer my whole life. Being here in North County, as you know, there's around 40 courses.
Yeah, you can walk out the door and you walk onto a golf course.
There's courses everywhere, and that's what I love. I mean, you can kind of play a different course for a span of a year if you really wanted to. If you really want to, you can. Every other weekend, you can play a different course.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, go back to your question. How did golf?
Yeah, how'd you get into it? So you talked about you got the bug, you got the loaner set.
Yes.
But what was kind of like that key moment where like, okay, like I want to try golf? Was it a friend that pulled you out?
Yes.
Was it a...
Okay.
Yeah, who got you in?
Little story, little backstory there. First time I went golfing was with two of my friends, Roma and Ricky. Shout out to my boys right there.
Shout out.
My boys, Ricky, his mom worked at a country club back home in Solvang. Very nice course. Private. Can't get on unless you know someone. He invited us out there, and I showed up in cargo shorts and like a baseball shirt. Because I had no idea what golf attire was.
Oh, man, I love it.
It was
keep
my
going,
first
keep
time
going.
golfing. We show up, and his mom stops us as soon as we didn't even step foot into the clubhouse. We stepped foot like 1 foot out of the door of the car.
You barely made it to the parking lot.
Oh my God! She's like, "What are you guys doing? Like, you need to go change right now." So there we were. We went back to my friend's house. He let me borrow a couple polos and like some nice pants or whatever. And since that day forward, like, just I don't know if you guys remember your guys' first solid contact with the golf ball.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a euphoric feeling.
Yeah.
And
we forever chase it.
we forever chase that.
Forever
feeling,
chase it. Yeah.
And then, I mean, all my friends are super competitive. Ricky being the best golfer that I knew because he was the closest to me that golfed. I was like, I need to get better.
Yeah.
I need to try to beat these guys someday. Yeah, I mean, golf it's just been part of my life, like these past 6 years. And I grew up playing soccer. I still love soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer's still part of my life, but I'd rather, if you ask me, hey, let's go kick the ball around or let's go to the range, 10 times out of 10, I'm going to say let's go to the range.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Man, first golf course is a country club.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, let's go over to you, bro. Was your first time ever at a country club?
No, it wasn't. No.
How'd you get into golf? Who got you
that
in?
bougie? Actually, it's kind of a funny story. So all my brothers and sisters are a lot older than me. Sorry, just call them old. They're all like a year and a half apart, and I'm like 7-8 years apart, right, from them. So I was like that oops baby, right?
Oh.
So I was
Valentine's. Is your birthday in November, bro?
It's December, so you're close.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it was a cold day, man. You just need to stay warm here.
Shout out December babies.
So, growing up, I would hang out with my brother, but not often.
Yeah.
But he started getting into golf, so, he invited me out. Hey, let's go play. I'm like, yeah, all right. I wasn't really into it, but I went out and struggled like everyone else does their first time. And then
I still struggle.
Yeah. I don't struggle as bad, but yeah, I still struggle. And just like Omar was saying, you get that first contact, that perfect hit, and it's like this euphoria that you think you can replicate again on the next swing, and then pretty much just dig chunk it in, dig a hole in the ground. And so he kept inviting me out, and I kept struggling. And then one day it just kind of came together a little bit, and I got hooked after that.
Yeah.
So, and that course was Goat Hill Park in Oceanside. So, I still, it's not an easy course at all.
Not easy.
I still golf there and like to torture myself every week. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, Goat Hill is a dart throwing course. They're not island greens, but they're isolated greens.
Sure.
That's tough. No, those are some great stories. Like for me personally, I had a family member get me into golf too. So I think you and I are fortunate in that sense that we had some sort of connection as far as family that gets us in.
Yes.
Omar, you had a friend that gets you in. So that's really cool. And that kind of ties back in to why we're kind of doing this podcast, right? Why the brand is around. Because as far as like Abe, I know from some of our interactions, you told me once, you're like, hey, I've never seen that many Latinos out there.
Yeah.
And you saw me and you were like, hey, that's really cool, man. Like, let's start playing together. And, there's some folks out there who still haven't found that. They haven't found that community. So they're either playing with the one friend or two friends that got them in, which is great. You're going to have your core crew that you want to go out with all the time. But the best thing about this sport is the networking, the talking, the getting to meet new people. So no, I think that's a big component of why we do this, and like why, because look at this. I mean, it brought us together for this podcast. So I want to now go into kind of talking about obstacles, because we got into the game, right? Cool. Like I said, you have your 1, 2, 3 friends that you go with. What was it like for you going out on the golf course the first time by yourself?
Well, when I went out by myself, I felt it's a little strange, it's a different environment than what you're used to. Mm-hmm. Not to be, negative towards any group, but you feel a certain tension sometimes, a certain look, what are you doing out here? You don't look like the rest of us, all buttoned up. And so it was a little awkward feeling, but like Omar said, there's I think everyone that plays has a little bit of a competitive fire, competitive juice. So you try to, that's a competition there. You feel like you're not necessarily accepted, but you're not welcomed. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I'm going to get better at this because anybody should be able to play and be welcome. And so that kind of, gets the juices flowing a little bit. So that's kind of obstacles that I kind of felt like it wasn't so welcoming at first, but then you start meeting people and community, and what Los Golferos is, it just kind of opens your eyes. Hey, there's a lot more of us here, and I'm glad to be here and be on the pod.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, thank you. So Omar, would you say that you felt that as well? Like, did you feel there was a kind of a tension going out on the golf course by yourself for the first time, or what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a little intimidating when you go out there for your first time by yourself.
Yeah.
You get heads turning. You're like, why is this person here? Type of thing. Like
Raul said, are you here to cut the grass, or like what's going on?
Exactly. Yeah, a little intimidation when you first show up. But a little. I mean, how Abe said not to call anybody out, but I don't know if you've ever been out to the range. Go to the range, you get heads turning, kind of like, hey, this guy's brown. Why is he here?
Yeah.
And you cure a shot, and you get some eyebrow raising. They're like, oh wow, he actually knows how to hit the ball.
Yeah,
I love that.
Right.
Almost kind of to tell them like, hey, shut up. I'm here to play.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I think we're talking a lot about our community, the Latino community, how we feel, and we use the word tension, right? I think I don't think it's necessarily tension. I agree with you. I had that same sentiment. But I think it's also something new, right? Like, it is what it is. We have white people, black people, Asian people out on the golf course, and kind of what we talked about, who brought you into the game. One thing that's different about our culture is that golf is almost frowned upon in a sense, because estás gastando dinero, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Like it's
not
such a
cheap.
pricey sport. What are you doing going out there wasting your money and on that? But it's the same with anything that you play. If you play soccer, you're gonna buy balls, you're gonna buy cleats, you're gonna buy new shirts to work out in and stuff like that. So, and there's always an expense to playing a sport. But what I was trying to get to with that is that these other cultures, it's maybe not as foreign because you have a dad who got you in, a grandpa got you in, uncle got you in, and they had someone that got them into the sport. So there's this lineage of golf in a lot of other cultures, which we don't have. And that's definitely one of the goals that I think we have as golferos, as Mexicanos, Latinos, however you identify, that in the future we're bringing these next generation of golfers in because it opens up a whole nother world. And so where I want to steer with this is kind of going back to the obstacle and the culture of it all. Omar, you have a really funny story because you talked about how you have that competitive drive and you love what the sport gives as far as scratching that itch as he scratches his face. Wow, that unplanned. But tell us the story about you and your uncle because he probably grew up watching you play soccer and then all of a sudden you're playing this quote unquote white sport. Yeah. What was that like?
So my godfather, actually, I mean, he started seeing that me and my cousins and friends started playing more and more golf than soccer. There was a point in life that like I just quit soccer completely and just started focusing on golf. And my godfather would give me shit, just saying like, "Why are you golfing, mijo? Like, why are you playing this sport?
Yeah,
like you don't sweat." You hop on a golf cart.
Ask my wife. I sweat.
Like you hop on a golf cart and you drink beers. It's like you have a point, but when you're out there trying to actually play good, trying to accomplish something, you trust me, you sweat. It's a very mental sport. I try to invite him many times. Come out, just come out, walk with me. I'm like, I'll even buy you beers. Come out with me. Try to hit the ball a couple of times. He kept saying no. Could never convince him because he probably knew in the back of his head it can't be that easy.
Yeah,
so
there's something to it.
Yeah. I mean, and coming from a family member, it's kind of like got you second thinking, kind of like why am I playing this sport type of thing.
It's disheartening.
Just disheartening for sure.
Yeah.
And someone that I look up to, I still look up to this day. I mean, he's done a lot for me, but just coming from him, it's kind of like, come on, Nino, like give me a break. Let me just play my sport, be happy, but. Maybe one of these days I'll convince him to go out there with me.
So you never got him out there?
Never got him out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, Nino, let's get you out there, bro. Come on. If you're going to watch this podcast. You're going to listen to it. So we got to get you out there. Abe, so for you do have a family member that got you into golf. But what was the reception like from the rest of your family? I mean, I imagine your brother kind of broke the wall a little bit, but did you get any resistance at all either?
Not necessarily. I think just my brother playing all the time just kind of became normal.
Yeah.
You know, my family, knew he was always out on the course. But my dad worked in the golf industry his whole life. So literally golf has been a livelihood for our family. So he was the head mechanic at Aviar Golf Course for 30 years. In fact, that's
awesome.
He was there before... there was a blade of grass. It was all just grading started, so he was one of the originals. That's why I'm wearing a Aviara shirt today.
Repping. He's repping.
Yeah. I'm repping Aviara. And so the good thing about that now is that, like, for Christmas, birthdays, you get Pro V1s, you get DP5s, you get anything golf related. So it's actually pretty cool, So when my family calls me and I don't answer, they know where I'm at. So... Yeah, I really, it's something that it just becomes part of you, know, and so it's funny that everyone that sees me knows, are you playing tomorrow? Are you playing today? They know I'm going to be out there, so yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
something that resonates with what Abe, I forgot who said it, but like white people. Usually the white community, they have someone that brought him into the sport, right?
Yeah.
Someone that helped him out, probably someone that showed him how to play.
Gave him a loaner set, something, right?
Exactly.
Pass it on.
Little story that just happened recently. One of my little cousins, Ernesto, he made the high school golf team.
Nice.
Yeah. And from
shout out Ernesto. Yeah, congratulations.
From what I hear, he made the golf team with some sort of like thrift store kind of set. He threw it all together.
Yeah.
And one of my uncles reached out to me. Since I work for Callaway, they take care of us. We get a lot of little perks. He reached out to me asking if I can get him a good price on a full set of clubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So shout out my uncle, Rafa. He bought my cousin a full set of brand new AI Smoke Callaway clubs.
Wow.
Brand new bag, everything brand new for this kid to kind of go out there and kind of, you go out there, you kind of need to feel good.
You got to
your
look
game.
good, feel good, play good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we got a picture the other day. It's just a little kid, just super happy with his brand new clubs.
You said he's in high school?
He's in high school, yeah.
Freshman? So.
I want to say he's a senior.
Senior?
Yeah.
Okay, so last year of high school, he tries out for the golf team, and he makes it.
And he makes it. From what I hear, he knows how to play.
Yeah.
I've never played with him, but from what I hear, he actually does know how to play. But yeah, just like someone from like us, like Hispanics, if you're like, my uncle's helping him out.
Yeah.
We never got that help. I mean, at least I didn't. I had to go out of my way to buy my own clubs and stuff like that because it was kind of like a little frowned upon that a Mexican plays golf.
Yeah.
Like we usually play soccer. So for my uncle to do that for my cousin, I mean, it just brought a smile to my face. Like, damn, that's sick. And just how he kind of put it out there. He's like, hey, no one helped us when we started playing.
Yeah.
So let me help him.
That's really cool, man. Yeah, and that's the goal. That's what we want with this brand. That's what we want with that's why we want to support all these other organizations. So you talk about your uncle going out and buying the bag, the set, and all that. There's orgs like Raza, shout out Raza. They're doing a lot with like junior golf, and I think they have their own association as well. There's kids like Nico, who is out, I think, in a field of like 300 golfers. And I may be wrong, but I think he's like one of the few Mexican kids out there.
Yeah.
So we're getting out there. We're getting into the game. And now we're developing this community where we're supporting each other. Like, hey, get in there. Go ahead and compete. Do what you can do. So that's really cool, man. I like hearing stories like that it's getting there. It's evolving. Yeah. Abe, on your end, are you seeing that transformation, that kind of next generation coming in, or do you have any goals to help with that?
I am seeing that that transition. You're seeing a lot more diversity in golf, even on the professional level, right? But now in the amateur level, and even where I play, consider my home course, Goat Hill Park, there's anybody and everybody out there, from little boys, little girls, different creeds, different ethnicities, and I see that the game is reaching different cultures. So I definitely start seeing that transition. So because I play a lot, or people think I play a lot, which is fine. And
what's your number?
I would say 14.
14?
Yeah.
The number I was going for, though, is what's your weekly number? How many times are you out on the course?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I left it ambiguous on purpose. I want to see what you would give me.
On a good week, I would say like 2 or 3 times a week.
That's a good amount. I like that.
So, and what I also do, I'll be at work, but I'll save like a video that I played, that I was playing somewhere, and I'll post it while I'm working. It's like, man, you're not wherever we're working, so that's just kind of something that's throw out there to throw people off,
That's the secret of social media, guys. That's how we do it.
But I try to play at least 2 times, 2-3 times a week if I can, or not get a range session in. Yeah. So I got to do it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, we all can't be like Omar over here having a simulator at work.
You'd be surprised how much I don't use it.
Oh, man. Omar, what's your number? I know wifey's behind the camera, but how many times are you getting out on the golf course a week?
I mean, to ask me this question 2-3 months ago, definitely 3 times a week.
Yeah,
maybe 2, but right now, maybe 1.
Yeah,
maybe on the way. Super excited. So
there we go.
Got to take care of the wifey first.
As you should. As you should.
Sure.
Congratulations on the baby, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit after, maybe a couple of months from now, I'll get out there again, but gotta
Yeah.
Priorities first.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, definitely. Wifey, can we when can we get them back? April, May? You don't have to answer. It's okay. No.
Well, Ralph, let me ask you a question. How many times a week do you play? Because it does, based on what we see, do you even have a job? Are you employed, or is this your full-time gig?
No, man. I am employed. So Los Golferos is definitely a passion project, a passion business. Hopefully down the line, hey, maybe this does become the full-time gig. But during the wintertime, it's tough for me because, I'm a twilight golfer. Get out of work, head out, play twilight. So I would say during the winter, I'm trying to get out at least once a week.
Okay.
And then during twilight season, which we're getting back to, I'm super excited about that. I'm blessed that I have a beautiful and accepting wife that allows me to go out and do what I want to do as far as golf. So twilight season, probably 3 to 4 times a week. So
very supportive wife.
Yeah, very supportive wife.
I was telling her before.
I feel very sorry for all of you other gentlemen that have to get your hall pass. I just say, hey, babe, I'm hitting the golf course. She's like, cool, have fun.
That's perfect.
I love it. But no, dude, this is awesome. I love talking this. I love, getting to know your stories. And really, once again, the whole point of this podcast is to get these stories out to people so they can hear and see, okay, there's other guys like me out there, whether it's a brother getting me in or a friend, and I'm trying to find my way, which leads me to my next question. We're talking golf community, right? Los Golferos, we're not a golf club by any means, but we're always open to golf. You can shoot us a DM to the account, and I run the Instagram. I'm probably more than likely going to respond to you. It may not be right away, but I will respond to you. And so I kind of want to talk about how we met, Abe, because I think that was really cool. You made my wife's day. Like, she thought it was so cool. Talk about how we met, man. I want you to take over that story.
All right. Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about this before we started recording. Does Ralph get recognized a lot everywhere he goes? And he's the star here. But the way we met, I was after work. I was gonna go just stop by at Chipotle and grab something to eat.
Chipotle,
yeah, or that old Jack in the Box commercial, Chipotle.
Yeah.
So I went to Chipotle, and I think Ralph and his wife were walking out, and I was walking in. And what caught my attention was Ralph was wearing this green shirt, and it had the Mexico colors on there, and that's what caught my eye. And I was wearing my Goat Hill Park shirt with the sombrero on it, because I always, wherever I go, I always like to somehow, represent the Latino culture with golf, obviously. Yeah. And so Ralph was wearing this green shirt, and I was like, "What is that shirt?" And the big logo on the front. Yeah. And I'm like, "Okay, I like that." I didn't bother him, And then he turns around and said, "Golferos." I'm like, "Hey, I like your shirt. Where'd you get that shirt?" And then, they gracefully stopped, and, he's like, "This is a golf brand." I'm like, "Wait, what?" So I'm like, I remember I showed you my shirt. I'm like, "Look, I'm representing too." Yeah. And so I followed him on Instagram on the spot, and followed me, and I saw obviously all the products, and it totally resonated with me, because that's something that I wanted to have on the course, whenever I go play, but I didn't know it was even available. So I met both of them at Chipotle, and the rest is Golferos history, right?
Oh, there we go. I like that. Golferos history, right on. Yeah, man. And yeah, you made us really happy that day, because I've been recognized before, just because, as Raul says, I'm the chief marketing officer of Los Golferos. I handle the Instagram. I handle all the social media. So you're going to see my face.
Right.
But you didn't know about the brand, but you saw the shirt, and that resonated. Yep. That made me more happy than anyone in recognizing my face.
Wow.
Because that means that the brand is doing what it's supposed to.
Right.
And you saw yourself in that shirt. In essence, you're like, dude, like, there's another brown golfer. Let me go talk to him. So.
Yep, and I told my brother about it, and then I ended up getting one of the towels, and he's like, I want that towel. I haven't let him take it, so I'm going to have to buy him one, which is fine. So, yeah, I mean, it resonated with him, and he's not really as familiar with Golferos as I am, but I'm going to get him in the fold because he loves it.
We need to get him out there, bro.
Yes, sir.
I have yet to golf with your brother. We need to get him out there.
Dave, shout out to Dave.
Shout out Dave. So kind of building off of that as far as recognizing the brand and, get essentially having it as a banner or a flag to say like, hey, I'm here. I want to go over to Omar. Not too long ago, I was over at Dogleg. They had an event, and it was kind of like a maker's market where people could go post up, sell their golf equipment, golf apparel. So big shout out to Dogleg, big supporter of ours, always giving us shine. They offered us a spot over at the event. Dogleg, amazing brewery. Go check it out. The crowd that night, I would say, wasn't necessarily our demographic. A wonderful event, nonetheless. But I was posted up, and Omar walks through the door. And Omar, I want you to take over from there. What was it about what we had going on that like caught your eye?
Yeah. So I've actually seen Los Golferos, the brand. I think I was on TikTok for the first time.
Oh, God.
And you know how like the TikTok shop, like there's like, I think it's something, it made me click on your profile.
Yeah.
It made me click on it. And then the first thing I saw was the golf towel.
Right.
It's iconic.
Thank you.
Sarape golf towel.
Thank you.
I was like, what is this? I need one. And yeah, how you said Dogleg had this like golf makers market or whatever. And I saw that you guys were going to attend.
Yeah.
So I told my wife, like, hey, they're having this golf market this night. Let's go out there. I kind of want to get one of these towels.
Yeah.
I had no idea you were going to be there. I had no idea who you were.
Okay.
But yeah, walked through the door. I was like, let me not make it that obvious and go straight to the table. Like, let me go get a beer first.
Yeah.
Go get a beer, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go over there. Walk outside.
Did you have to pump yourself up with a beer to come talk to me?
Yeah, bro. I was nervous.
See, you're a star, Ralph. I'm telling you.
Gosh.
You're very humble, but you're a star.
Go out there. I mean, and yeah, we just started talking and got the towel. You invited me to your guys' group chat on Instagram.
Yeah.
Kind of told me all about the whole community that you guys are, a little golf group. That kind of people get tee times here and there, and if you ever want to join, just shoot a message like, hey, I want to play.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I've never been a part of anything like that.
Exactly.
Because before that, who I was golfing with were a couple coworkers and my boy Rick. That's all I would golf with.
That
and
was
then by myself.
your group. Yeah.
That was my group. But now that I guess I could say I'm part of Los Golferos, I love it, man. It's awesome. It's awesome because I get to meet you guys. I met so many other people. It makes me happy, man. It's awesome.
That's good.
It's awesome.
Man, that makes me happy. I'm excited about that.
Teary, I hear.
Oh, wow, man. We're getting emotional on a podcast here? No, and honestly, guys, like that. That's why this episode is special to me. That's why it's one of the early episodes of this podcast, because that just shows me and it shows my business partners / family members that the brand is doing its job, right? That's why we got into this. We wanted to put our own spice out there, our own flavor to essentially give you that feeling of community, right? And yeah, we unintentionally started, I guess, a golf group. That's what I'm gonna call it, because it's not a golf club; it's a golf group. Big shout out to the Hopped On. We're gonna get him on the pod. He's been a big champion of ours down here in San Diego. He helps me out a lot. He helps the brand out a lot. And he actually had that idea. He was like, dude, he goes, you guys have a big following in LA. It's great, but like, you're down here in San Diego. Like, we got to do something. So he started this group chat, and then little by little, we just started adding people more and more and more and more. And it's to the point where now we have a golf league. Like, we have a Golferos league that's kicking off next month. That's going to be really fun. So that's really cool. And I think to kind of sum it all up, guys, we want to give Mexicanos, Latinos, wherever you're from, we want to give them that sense of community, but it's not gatekeepy in the sense of like you have to be brown to be in the crew. The golf chat has a mix of guys, and I think that's the big thing, right? Is that we want to give you the path to be like, cool, I found more brown people like me. Now let's bleed that into the other cultures, the other ethnicities, things like that, because, you know, we have our golf weddles in the group chat, as we like to call them. You know, we have everybody in there, Black, Asian, Mexican, white, however you want to identify. So I think that's really cool. Abe, I kind of want to pass over to you. What's it been like being in the group chat?
It's a lot of comedy in that group chat.
Very.
Definitely a lot of opinions, a lot of highlights, and people drop it in tee times. I mean, if you can make it, you can make it. If not, you know, you'll get the next one. But you're always staying up to date with what's happening in the group, and you know, that's. As Omar was saying, it's actually cool to be part of something like that because, hey, I might have a day off, and hey, so-and-so's playing at, you know, 3 o'clock. I can make that, you know, and that sense of community is there. But, you know, there's, when I was mentioning this to you, Ralph, part of the I would call it the beauty, I guess, of Los Golferos is people from all walks of life are part of it, and it's not just, like you said, gatekeeping, but it's just actually building a community, getting to know different people, and you know, it's networking at the same time, and you really meet some pretty cool people. So that group chat, keep it going. It's awesome. Don't stop. Every now and then I'll chime in. You know, I'm new to the group, so you know, you're new to something, you just kind of slag behind a little bit, and every now and then throw something in there, but you know, I'll get a little more.
We got a lot of brown dudes in there, man. A lot of thick skin. Go ahead, let it fly.
How you were saying, it's a little comedic, but it's also a lot of different point of views.
Yeah.
In there. I don't know. I threw in a hot take in there.
You love to throw in.
I like to stir the pot a little bit.
You do love to stir the pot. Omar will throw in little hot takes in there. Like, what was the recent one about Tiger? He'd be like, "Oh, is Tiger done? Is he washed up?" And then everyone's like, "Whoa, hold on."
Yeah, Omar.
I was just saying that he should probably start thinking about playing in the Champions Tour. That's all I said. And I got some flack for it.
He got
for
some
sure.
flack. Yeah. No, but I think that was really cool though, because we ended up golfing later that day, or maybe like the next day, and I think it just shows like the progression and kind of the next wave, because you got into golf after Tiger's prime, I would say. You know, he's still a great golfer in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
But you know, he's not the Tiger of old. So you were telling me like you're more in the JTs, the Jordan Spieths, the Colin Morikawas. Those are kind of the guys you think are like
Xanders.
The Xanders, yeah.
Those are my goats, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the golfers that when I started playing golf and started watching golf more and more, that's who I resonated to. That's who I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
Again, back to Tiger. I mean, 2000s Tiger, he's never coming back. I don't think he ever will.
Why you gotta make us all sad, bro? Like, we want to see it. We're looking for Sunday.
One more major. I want one more major.
Yeah. Does he make the cut? Does he make the cut at the Masters?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
Abe, does he make the cut at the Masters? Do we get Tiger magic?
I'm hoping if his body can hold up. I'm hoping he can make the cut. But so I'm gonna say yes. Since Omar said no, I'm saying yes.
For the record, at the Genesis, he pulled out because of the flu or a stomach bug, if I remember.
Was there any proof of that?
Allegations.
I think it was more of a promoting his brand.
To get out to the Genesis, promote his brand. Okay, guys, as you can see, Omar loves the hot takes. Man, I'm not trying to upset Tiger. If somehow he sees this, I'm like, come on, man.
No, Tiger, I mean, definitely the GOAT of all time. I mean, he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. I wish I was around, like, playing, and I was pretty young back then, back in 2000. So yeah. I wish I watched and played golf at that time. Because from what I see highlights, I mean, it's whatever. What he accomplished is insane.
Yeah.
And we'll probably never see it again, unfortunately, because
I don't think so.
He was on a whole different level from everybody else.
He's one of the few. I'm gonna kind of segue a little bit, but like, you know, everyone talks about the mama mentality, right? I always talk about Kobe a lot. Kobe's a big inspiration for me in my life. And I've recently been watching the Gilbert Arenas podcast, and he said everyone nowadays wants to say the mama mentality, the mama mentality. People don't walk the mama mentality. They talk the mama mentality. And I think there's only been a handful of people that have truly walked that, and that's Tiger. Because, you know, all the training his dad did was like, hey, like, I'm going to throw golf balls at you while you're on the tee. I'm going to yell at you while you're putting. Like, nobody trains like that anymore. And think whatever you want to think about, like, if you want to be the top of the top, you have to walk through the fire.
Yeah.
And not many people actually want to walk through the fire anymore. So
Tiger definitely put in that work.
he put in that work. He put in that work.
He's going to make the cut.
He's going to make the cut at the Masters.
I hope so, but
Yeah.
Yeah, wear that green jacket on Sunday.
Yeah. No, guys, this has been a really great conversation. So I kind of want to wrap things up here a little bit. We've been talking a lot about community, and we've been talking a lot about, you know, reaching out to the next generation and bringing people in. We're very inclusive as far as this brand. We want, like I said, to help others, and, you know, in a way, we kind of expect others to help us, to go ahead and promote and really get like those next generation of golfers in. So I kind of want to do one final question to each of you here. Abe, what would, as far as being in the group chat and you know, kind of being on this Golferos journey now, what goal do you set for yourself in this year as far as trying to bring more golfers into the game?
Well, just being part of a community is actually, you know, it's actually pretty cool. You know, I was joking around saying, I found my family, found my golf family. It's a golf orphan. No, I'm just kidding. But kind of like-minded individuals. All of you are super cool, respectful, welcoming. And it's not so much about competing, but it's getting together. And I think that sets the tone for the culture of Los Golferos, which I love. So, you know, I'm trying to, you know, little by little, let people know, hey, you know, check this brand out, check Los Golferos out, and sometimes I want to take my towel. But and by
direct them back to the website.
Right? Yeah,
direct them back to the website.
Real quick, and I won't take too long, but 2 weeks ago I was at the range and at Goat Hill, and I was just hitting some balls with a friend, and then I look over, and it was two white guys, and they had a red TaylorMade bag, and I looked over, and they had a Los Golferos towel.
What?
And I was gonna take a picture and send it to you, and then they left.
That's cool.
So that was cool. That it just like, it's not just, you know, one culture or one ethnicity, but it's everyone. And so my goal for Golferos, number one, is just to play a lot better, you know, and you know, we can do little side games and stuff. And
always.
But
I'm a degenerate gambler.
It is. In
there
fact,
always has to be some sort of gambling.
the awesome thing about starting this league now, you know, kind of you push each other in a very cool way to get better and, you know, to improve. And obviously you're gonna be hanging out with the guys, but that's my goal is to try to promote the brand as much as I can. So I'm gonna need more merch and definitely gonna go to the website. But
I like that hat, bro.
Thank you. Can you sign it for me since you're the celebrity?
All right, let's calm down.
Golferos, that's my goal there.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so Omar, same thing over to you, man. Like I said, it's community where we all have to pitch in to kind of get the next generation in. Like, what would you want to do in this next year to kind of bring more Latinos and, you know, more people into the game?
Definitely, how Abe was saying, just kind of like introducing the brand to people the younger generation. My little brother plays golf, so he knows about it. I'm like, dude, follow this brand. It's actually really cool. Doesn't live in the area, unfortunately, so he won't be able to play with us, but definitely kind of just try to put the word out there.
Yeah.
Like what the brand stands for, what the community is all about. And honestly, just getting together.
Yeah.
Like when not too long ago, we had like 4 tee times at St. Mark's. The links now, but
the links,
St. Mark's. There was like 12 heads. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome because everybody would tee off the same, right back to back.
Back to back.
We finished off. Everybody got a beer after, and just having everybody there was so cool. So it felt welcoming. Like I met a lot of people that day that I didn't know. So yeah, just getting the community together more would be awesome.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if you rock the merch, if you buy the merch, it's because you're gonna be on that mission, on that path to try to bring others in. You know, like I said, continue to develop the community. That's why I asked them this question. You know, you're not technically part of the brand in the sense of like part of the ownership group or anything like that, but you know, you're rocking the merch. That means something to us, and it's kind of like how we pass the mission on to others. It's like, go ahead and bring other people in. Last question that I have here. So we're talking about bringing other golfers in. Maybe we have somebody listening or watching right now who's like, okay, like I see these guys, I'm thinking about getting into golf. What's your piece of advice? What should you do first to get in?
To get in?
Get into golf. Like, how do you break through that barrier?
I guess just try to find either a family or friend, or even just taking the initiative to go out to a range and talk to people is always helpful. I mean,
yeah,
some people might be shy, some people won't, but like just asking questions, asking questions about the game. Don't be afraid to ask for tips.
Yeah.
YouTube. Watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
But definitely just get out there. Just take that first initiative to get out there, try to play more, and just practice. A lot of practice, for sure.
Yeah, that's a big one. All right, Abe, over to you, man. What would be your piece of advice to someone trying to get into golf?
I think is if you try it out, just you might not succeed the first time, and golf teaches you a lot about yourself and a lot about life. It teaches you about discipline, right?
Oh, definitely.
It teaches you about getting over a bad shot, or learning to let something go, let bad shot go, and think about this present shot, and think really life. Golf teaches you, a lot about life. Not trying to get too philosophical, but just go out there.
Seems like you run the Preacher's Corner podcast.
I do. Am I preaching right now?
No. I agree with you. Continue on. Sorry.
And just go out and try it. But I also recommend is don't be afraid to pay for a lesson or go take a lesson, because everyone's gonna have different tips, and YouTube, it's gonna try to replicate that. But the thing is you want someone's eyes on your swing, or someone to tell you, hey, do you want to make that putt? Because you're definitely aligned wrong. You're pointing to the right. So take a lesson, invest in yourself, invest in some equipment. I think all of us, or I wouldn't generalize that, but I had a loaner set, my brother's loaner set, and when I wanted to improve, I had to invest and bought my own clubs and gear. And once you invest in yourself, you're like, we're going full throttle on this. We ain't stopping.
Yeah.
We got the bug. And then we're part of Salud Golferos.
There we go. Awesome. No, great advice, guys. I'm going to say biggest piece of advice I can give you guys is push out of that comfort zone. And we use the term a lot, home course, right? Where's our home course? Where are we playing? Go somewhere, and even if it feels uncomfortable, keep playing there until it just becomes a second home. Find a course that you feel that aligns with you. I'm going to give a big shout out to Emerald Isle. They have us out here today recording this podcast. So Curtis, Cassidy, everyone, Henry, the whole staff, they have us out here. If you can find a course like this where there's people out here in t-shirts, shorts, their dogs are walking around. If that's what you need, find that chill vibe course and then progress from there. You don't have to start off at a country club.
Must be nice.
So yeah, that's going to be our advice, how we're going to sum up this podcast. So guys, I want to thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
I hope that you got some insight out of it, talking here amongst each other.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, guys, as always, till next time, and Salud Golferos.